Behaviour. I don't see ya, I got a mind of my own, I'm free. So I say what I say, and there ain't no way they silence me. So we take the time to build up our minds and share what we can be. So come follow me, but don't follow me. It's more and I ain't taking no loss, and they cannot hold us down. I see them tell us we need a boss, but I can't respect them clowns. I hear the fear that we'll pay the cost if we stand against the crown. But I don't care, I stand out here with a will to bring them down. Come take a look through the orange lens, my friends. How you doing, folks? Peace in. So, welcome to Sunday Live. I had to, before I even look at my notes, I went for a walk this morning. You know, I love walking by the sea in the morning. It's one of the most beautiful things in the world. And obviously, or maybe not obviously, to some of you, some may know, some may not know, you know, my introduction into my adult education, as I'll call it, was, oh, that's well on the tip. Let's pop that up there. Oh, look, I didn't even pop my lights on. How amateur. I was just Sunday flow day, right? Let's just pop them on. Let's get ourselves more of a orange glow there. Why wouldn't we? And, Bitcoin. Go get some. Stop fucking around. Take control of your finances. But anyway, this morning on my walk, absolutely stunning down by the water was just gorgeous. But as I was saying, my entry into my adult education was conspiracy. It was, you know, it was what most people would call conspiracy theory, right? Which the first instance was, you know, what is called in conspiracy theory land, right? Which is, you know, not what. It's such a weird term, isn't it? You know, to me, there's like a big form of like informed people. Right? There's loads of informed people. Some people are getting bad information about some things, good information about others. You just anyway, chemtrails, right? It's not a name I like. I stopped using it a while ago because it's related to the conspiracy theory world, right? But I spent, well, I mean, since I found out about it, you know, about planes going through the sky and leaving stuff, and it, you know, it not acting right? It's like planes should leave contrails, and the larger percent of contrails, should disappear. There's a certain height, there's a certain temperature, you know, there's different atmospherics that equate to it. But the reality of contrails is and has always been, unless someone's been in and doctored the writing or changed the books, updated the science. Unless that's happened, what's happening in our skies regularly is not contrails. That I know for sure. Anything past that, I couldn't, with 3 years of heavy information finding, I couldn't find enough that was like undoubtable, undeniable proof. I had to let it go, like on shouting about it all the time, because when you can't really prove something, you know, and I mean, it was less that I couldn't prove it, that why I stopped talking about it. Really, for me, it was a matter of I had to choose my battles, because I was finding out too much stuff, and there was too many shit things going on around the world that was making me unhappy, and I needed to maintain my happiness, maintain some objective thinking and some focus, and I needed to acquire more motivation. So I let my mission of trying to get everyone to look at the skies go. I realised that people weren't looking at the skies because they weren't looking at themselves. And that made me do my self-progression videos, because I was like, well, if I can encourage people to look at themselves, then once their awareness is there, when they start looking around, they're going to start going, what the fuck is this? You know, that did and didn't work. And so anyway, that all was what that was. But this morning, particularly, the sky was disgusting. And do you know the reason I chose to speak about it today? Was because I went and met my beautiful sister and my beautiful niece on Friday morning. And my sister said something about how lovely it's been since all the planes haven't been flying. And I was just like, oh, shit. That's a large load of unawareness there. And I was just like, fucking hell. And I just went, well, that would be lovely if that was the case, wouldn't it, sis? But, like, you know, they've been up there. And I've got pictures. Lockdown one, like the beginning of lockdown one, there was large patches of good weather, right? But there was still planes, not as much as what there had been pre-lockdown, but there was still planes flying around. I knew there were still planes flying around the planet anyway. There was plenty of rich people and people that were, you know, had real need to fly around the planet to do their business. You know, in this day and age, man, you can pretty much do what the fuck you want from your house if you needed to. You know, it's been made so that we don't have to leave our houses, do we? And look how easy it is to do that. Anyhow, the sky was a mess this morning, and after my sister saying that to me the other day, I was like, holy shit, man, like, I need to say something. Like, it's not... This is my chain of thought, right? You've got Bill Gates buying up all the agricultural land he can in America. You got this man, right, who has openly talked about wanting to reduce the population. He's heavily invested into vaccines, now seriously involved in the vaccine for COVID. 99% of the population are okay. And we need vaccines for something that most of us, our immune system kicks its ass. It's strange. Anyway, so you've got this man, Bill Gates, highly invested in agriculture, highly invested in vaccines, and now it's reported he's talking about needing to spray stuff into the atmosphere to combat global warming. So, farmland, I wonder if he's invested in Monsanto. I wonder if Bill Gates is doing deals with Monsanto, right? Because they're making the genetically modified seeds. More shit goes. I mean, you know, there's a conspiracy theorist in me that's just like, this motherfucker's trying to fucking cull the planet. I don't know whether it's just a conspiracy theorist, because it feels right. Like that, as in, not like it feels right, like, oh yes, he should be doing it. I mean, like, it feels like, no, that feels like right. That feels like that's what's happening. But you don't know, do you? And you can't, like, what can we do, right? There's so much shit going on around the world, so much fucking corruption we've had to ignore, so much. Yo. Oh, Rob, how you doing, bruv? How you doing? Did you enjoy your walk? Did you have your walk? Did you go for a walk? All right, well, let's not be slow with your responses, bruv, or I am live. Anyway. Yeah, so, shit, what was I just saying? Bill Gates and his whole fucking weirdness. Yes, that's right. And I was moving back to, I did indeed. Awesome. Off to Friston Forest for a second one. Oh, nice, mate. Nice, nice. Yeah, I walked by the sea this morning, and yeah, I just said all that. You can catch it. But yeah, I think that realizing that there's so many issues around the world made me realize that I was struggling to deal with it, and that made me realize I needed to work on myself more, which meant I need to give myself room to do that. So I stopped looking at a lot of the stuff I was looking at and just focused on building myself so I could deal with facing it all again with more longevity and passion and vigor and commitment. So that's where the working on myself bit comes from. And this is why I promote, like, you know, it's one of the reasons I promote self-awareness so much, is because if you're dealing with this world and you want any type of real change, you're gonna need internal tools of strength to be able to deal with everything that's going to come with it. Like, I've spoken out for years, man, and I've been attacked, you know, by people that are like friends, by people that aren't, you know, people that I don't even know. I say one sentence and they rip my head off, you know, and, you know, that's hard to deal with, but I think it's necessary, because actually these larger problems, we're more likely to solve them by making all these smaller changes from the bottom. All of us, real grassroots movement, right? Not like this fake political bullshit they talk about. Grassroots movement, all right, what, in your fake democracy? You know, there's an old tale of the old slave master and his slaves rebelling, you know, understandably, and so his brother comes to him. He says, "Look, I've got a way to calm the slaves down." And he goes in to speak to the slaves, and he says, "Look, I understand why you're annoyed with my brother, your living conditions and your pay, and, you know, the respect. It's not good enough, is it? You know, look, come and work for me. I'll give you the home. I'll give you the clothes. You da 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 da. You know, I'll do them. You know, you're not going to be treated the same way as him, right?" And there was basically, I've just absolutely mashed up the story, but the better way when it's told, right, someone who knows the story truly, is the fact that basically what happens is, like in politics, you're just being offered different leaders by the same system behind it. The democracy is a farce. You know, I mean, even if you just look objectively at the system, there's no true democracy for the people. So therefore, if we don't have a political voice, which we don't, then the voice we have is our actions, is our buying power, is our choices in life, and how we choose to live and how we choose to interact with this system we're born into. So that's why I believe self-awareness is so important, because self-accountability is paramount, right? Like, shit, man. This is like, the Bitcoin community is epic, right? I think they're awesome. They're brutally independent and self-accountable, and there's an area of it that's so hard, and you won't get any help out of any of them. You'll only start getting respect off of them probably, you know, once you've been through a full cycle, which is 4 years. You'd have to be running a node and, you know, be actively promoting Bitcoin, and then there's this certain sector, I think, of the Bitcoin world that will sort of go, right, maybe you're not a dickhead yet. But, you know, there's the other parts of it, like Swan Signal, right? And in the description after I've posted this, I'll put all my links in there. And Swan Signal, man, you need to get on there. They've got 24-hour Bitcoin TV, right? Literally, it's live, it's just permanently streaming, like, Bitcoin content from all, like, the top Bitcoin, informers and educators, right? And it's an epic space to go and learn. And Hope.com, Micheal Saylor has given so much to the fucking community. And the point is, the more you go through the Bitcoin community, right, like, when you come in from the outside, some people get a really bad reaction because of the way they come in, right? They're way too bullish on their entry, and you don't know enough, and you don't understand enough of it. So, like, I asked some stupid questions, definitely, but I I'm me, so I'm about revolution. I'm more than that. I'm about reform, and more than that, I'm about new ways. You know, and I'll do everything for my whole life to push towards that. You know, and I think we all should. But you know, Bitcoin brings about this level of self accountability that, I'll be honest with you, is new to me. You know, I'm not like, oh, I was so self-accountable, but honestly, I've always taken proper account for my actions. Like, I don't look to blame anyone else. I take any shit from anything I've done, and I take all the glory from it as well. But wow, yeah, Bitcoin's a whole another beast. It's like, you know, the more I've learned about it, it's just like, oh shit. I mean, you know, if we're choosing value, like, if we keep electricity going, which is no reason why we shouldn't at all, then there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't choose a non-corruptible monetary system, right? We choose it, we implement it ourselves, and we craft new ways, slowly but surely. All of these little things that are happening from all different sectors, it's like literally the whole of society is just going, fuck no. Well, I mean, it's not. There's a whole load of people that are unfortunately still hugely unaware and not even believing that they've got any reason to look up, to go, oh, is there something going on out here? You know, people, you know, when we're made comfortable, we're made pliable. You know, when we're comfy, when we're routined up, it's very easy to guide and manipulate masses of people. This is why I think actually some of the healthiest routines are some of the minimal ones. Don't get too caught up on routine, because then you get autopilot. You've got to leave. Breaking autopilot is really important. We in-train different things, and we have them trained into us as well, that guide our perspectives on life. And if we don't review them throughout our lives, like many people that don't go past, say, the age of 18 for education, they're working with what they learnt when they were 18 in some aspects. And you see this playing out through life, you know. Yeah, sometimes I joke and I just go, mate, it's just basically a big fucking playground out there. It's just learning grown-ass kids running around. You know, I'm one of them. But at least I'm tackling my own self-awareness, right? I'm doing that, you know. And so, you know, but it's each their own, right? I'm not a hater. You know, I would have said I was a lover, but now I'm not down with that. I'm down with balance. So, you know, I'll hate you and love you, depending on who you are and what you're doing. So you know, that's the way I look at shit. Anyway, I have got some notes. It is Sunday recap after all. So I only done 3 videos this week, didn't I? I did do one, but I took it down because actually I was feeling insecure that day. And I'd said some like fairly heavy things, and I just didn't have the bollocks to hold the video. And I took it down. I'd only put it up on YouTube. I hadn't like shared it out to all the different places. Well, 100. Are you from the UK? I am from and in the UK. Where are you from? Wild, wild one. Where are you from? Anyway, so I was recapping. I was just about to start my recap after my admission of my weakness. So Monday was a big one on Bitcoin and revolution. You know, because Micheal Saylor had said, you know, you should really focus on one thing. America teabags UK all day. Would you believe it? I'm not a big tea drinker at the moment. I prefer my coffee. Latte, no froth on top, please, thank you. But I haven't been drinking that because I've been avoiding cow's milk. So, you know, I have oats milk with my coffee at home. Shit, I haven't had a cup of tea in about 3 years, you know, maybe even more. Man, it's been a while. I might have a cup of tea in celebration of that. I'm not really very British, I'll be honest with you. Free Prince Harry. Fuck the royals. They're murderous. The royals only are in power because they murdered people. I have no respect for them. Prince Harry, on the other hand, Diana's son. That's slightly different. Diana was lovely. They probably killed her. She was leaving. They don't have that. They're a power family, you know, dominators. They killed lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of innocent people. R.I.P. DMX. You know, at least he said some thought-provoking stuff in his lyrics. Granted, he said a load of gangsterism stuff as well and perpetuated a problem. But, you know, as I said, I'm not very British. I don't give a fuck about flags. Royal family is like the Hiltons. I don't know, man. I think the Hiltons have got more swag than the fucking royal family, and probably not as hated. I think there's a myth, right, around the world that the British people adore the royals and the politicians. That really isn't the case. There's a small sector of rather posh British people. You know, the gentleman that would speak to you like this, and maybe we would have scones and cream and tea. Yeah, it'd be bloody good, and we'd have a jolly good old day. Might go and do a bit of hunting in the afternoon, know what I mean? What, tally-ho. Yeah, there's a small bunch of people like that maybe have some levels of respect for the royals and the politicians, and some other people that are maybe still under misconceptions and possible manipulations through education that makes them think we have some type of democracy. Woo. Anyway, let's get back to Monday. How to make the gods laugh. Micheal Saylor, make a plan. That was good. So, you know, focus is really important in life. Whatever you're choosing to focus on, right? And being aware of what that brings. Like, focus can bring tunnel vision, which can be highly productive, but then you can end up going down paths that are less constructive, you know? I'm a poet and I know it. What can I say? So it was nice to have a couple of people pop in there. They've left now. That was nice. While we're taking this moment, anyone who's watching back, please hit like, subscribe, share my video with someone. Help me get a conversation out there that needs pushing more. It's not like I'm the only person having the conversation. It's just that I have joined the conversation and I want to push that harder because I want more people in the conversation. I want more, like we need representation in life, right? I can represent some people. I can represent for some people, and I can represent me for other people. We can all learn from ourselves, from other people. I always look to learn from myself and from other people. So, you know, hit like, subscribe, share, check the description because there's going to be a ton of links in there. It's not in there now, I can't do it till afterwards, but I always put like loads of links. There's a whole Bitcoin section, there's some audio books. The way Tao Te Ching, The Way of the Tao, right, is an epic book, and The Alchemist, got 2 audio books in there. Did I put a link to the Bitcoin book in there? I think I did. There's a link in there to a free book all about Bitcoin. You should definitely get on that. So yeah, Monday's video was mainly sort of me riffing on sort of my moves on Revolution, how I feel about it. Thank you very much for that like. And the focus of that. My focus is a broad one. You know, I've I've got a broad perspective. I've gained a broad variety of information on the issues we face, and I've got a broad outlook on the possible solutions we've got. You know, and some of the key solutions are, like, I think it's I think on my Twitter thing it just says at first we must free our minds. Right, that's on one of my accounts somewhere in a bio anyway. But at first we must free our minds. We must ask ourselves, have I got something that's stopping me seeing things? Have I got a perspective of view that is stopping me from having another one? And we all have somewhere. I definitely have, you know. I'm not a know-it-all. So I learn things. I'm like, holy shit. And then I'm like, wow, so that makes sense with that. And then I'll learn something else and be like, fuck, you know. And then sometimes I learn something and I'm like, oh shit, I was totally wrong about that. You know, that's not even happening, right? Because the more questions we ask, the more we can know. So revolution, in a sense, is my focus. It's, let's bring about the change. Let's not be waiting for other generations. I remember hearing when I was younger, like my nan or like even my parents would sort of like, there was this saying where like the next generation are going to deal with like whatever problems, right? And you sort of think, no, like shit shouldn't be left for anyone. Like we should all just straight up be facing this. So, you know, yeah, the whole Monday Rift was about it was about revolution. And then Tuesday, that's right, I got pointed at a podcast called Citadelium, which, I ain't got to look at my notes. I went ahead and watched like the first maybe 20 videos on their page. I went back to the start and watched from the beginning. And I mean, there was some definite things that I disagreed on, some life views I disagreed on. The man talking was very much from the language he was using and how he was constructing his sentences and stuff gave me the impression that he was very much more male hierarchy. And that is one of the key problems we have faced, is a gender dominance. I'm not about gender neutrality. You can be what the fuck you like in life, and I don't care. I don't judge you. I haven't got to see you anyway. I don't have to agree with you. You know, if you're going to choose to live your life, you should have the inner conviction to go ahead and do it regardless of whether anyone agrees with you or will even call you Sheila when your name used to be Shane, right? Like if I know someone's had a sex change and I'm very respectful, I'm not an arsehole, right? But like at the same time, when I was in a pub and I was trying to get this fella's attention, I was like, mate, geezer, fella, dude. I'm like, brother, you ignoring me? And he's like, I don't respond to gender-specific heckles or something. This was in England. I mean, it was in Brighton. So, and I was like, I was like, bro, come on, man. You're not wearing a badge telling me anything, are you? Like, you haven't... He was fully man mode. Like, he was wearing male clothes with a male haircut. Right? Or, you know, but real talk, right? Like, you know, I look like a bloke, right? I don't look like I'm wearing a skirt with makeup on, longer hair, giving an appearance of a typical feminine appearance, right? A typical lady appearance, right? Like, it's all craziness. Like, be who you want to be. I don't know where that side one came from. Citadel. Oh yeah, that guy. And then he said about and he was talking in this like male hierarchical bullshit. But aside from, you know, some of them other things, this whole Citadel thing is linked to Bitcoin and blockchain, I believe. I mean, it's not directly, but I mean, it pretty much is. Seems that way. It makes sense, right? Because actually, if you realise the economic problems we face, then you are currently looking for alternatives because you know that there is a timeline, and the chances of these economic changes not having some profound effects on our lives are pretty slim. So if we don't have informed awareness on it, right, that means we've taken the time to ask questions ourselves and question the things that we find that feels right, or that we think, oh yeah, that's it. There's always another angle. There's always other studies, right? Some things aren't definitive, and you have to make a choice. It has to be a part of your life thesis, a part of your... Yeah, something in my eye there. Don't know. But I think it's important. This is why I promote self-awareness, self-accountability. So yeah, these citadels, and it's basically like, oh man, I mean, if any this is one of it, right? Through my head goes cult, right? Like in the sense of anything that is out of the mainstream, out of the norm, like all of us, me included, I'm super fucking skeptical, right? Like, I seem seriously bullish and just dive in balls deep. But, like, I'm a huge skeptic. I just am happy to run into anything. It's, you know, thick-skinned. But, I can take a crash. But these citadels, it's basically groups of people agreeing to the same ends. It's the reform of society, if it's chosen to be, or not. You know, but these people and the conviction they have is something I share. Not with all of them and not the same ideas, which is why this particular bloke, I simply wouldn't join his citadel. And this is the beautiful thing about the whole concept of citadels, which is something that I actually put into my own concept of pods, of how we could rearrange society. And that is whereby each citadel is an agreement of people. You pay into a joint citadel. You're invested, right? Not only with your morals and with your ideas and with your values, but with your money. And you create... like I want to say, like all the words are jumping out of my head at the same time. I want to say something to do with like a strength in money. It's a strength in community, right? But if you've got agreements between citadels and you've got like universal agreements, there's many things that can come from us taking back the power of our finance. Like I said to someone the other week, this was hilarious. I was on the phone trying to sort out my computer with this lady in Spain way. And, oh man, shit was taking long and we get into chit chat, which is always dangerous when I'm about. And I said to her about Bitcoin. And, she was sort of, I sort of heard things and da-da-da-da-da. All right, sort of like heard what she knew about it and that. And I just said, well, the only thing I can say is like from the angle of like, I come from revolution. That is my full on, I want change. This place makes me sick. I don't want to feed the war machine. I'm looking for all alternatives. But just not running into all of them, right? Check everything out. Just, you know, check it out first. And that's a good way of doing things. But anyway, so I said to her, I said, but if you think about it like this, if we take control of money, that forces those that wish to tax us and govern us to interact with us differently, because we got to pay them out of our own free will and fruition. You can't just tax my fucking Bitcoin and take it out of my wallet, bruv. You can't get in there. It's not yours. You have to offer me something I'm happy to interact with, right? Bitcoin brings back a level of communication between the powers that be that I believe to be truly healthy. So don't sit on your laurels. Jump in the description after this video's out, or get out of this video when it's done and go to one of the other ones and just hit the description there, because all the links are there. But get your head into Bitcoins. Swan Signal is an epic channel, and Ben on BTC Sessions. They're like my two favourite learning spots just because of how they deliver it. Swan Signal's a little bit more corporate, but because of that, there's actually a little bit different information that comes out of them, so it's handy. Ben's very much aimed at getting beginners linked up with understanding what wallets are, how to use them, the different base plate entry levels of things that you really need to know in Bitcoin, otherwise you could seriously get mugged off. You never send anyone Bitcoin, ever. You only ever send it to yourself. Anything else is purely someone trying to mug you off. The best way to make money out of Bitcoin is to buy it and hold it. Unless you are a 24-hour working with algorithms day trader who's like immense on some shit, just don't even bother with that shit. You'll burn hard. So yeah, Bitcoin. So that was that. Right, we did the Citadel. Citadels. I don't know if I did the Citadels, but the whole idea, and the Citadel's forming now. Right, there are people creating online citadels with commerce, like they're into trading, and this is the point. When we start not only taking back our money, but trading between ourselves, like those people on the outside that want a piece of our action need to be fucking offering us something, right? So it's not a joke if you choose it not to be, because really, money's only a choice. Like, we choose where we put our value, but there's obviously some better choices, right? There are safer options. We're in the fucking 20th century. We don't need gold other than for its monatomic values, right? If it's not decorative, it's only breaking it down to take out the other parts of it. And I don't even truly know if monatomic gold has any longer lasting or health rejuvenating properties, but it's written about it. There's loads of ancient stuff on it, and it looks like it might do. But other than that, who gives a fuck, right? Like, I want something safe that other people can't take. Like, you can't carry your gold around with you. That's not happening, right? So if we want power over our money, or if we want sovereignty over our money, we want something that we can carry around the world with us, that we can go to different countries and still have wealth. Like, as soon as you land, as soon as you get off the boat, you know? So I believe that looking into things like citadels is a good idea. And the beautiful thing about it is this. It's like-minded people coming together to the same ends, but you're in agreement with all these other pods on some core values, and core values are sovereignty, right? Freedom, community and commerce, right? Like, we don't have all of that properly. We've got fake demonstrations of it. What do empires do? They take what natives have and they twist it and mould it so that they're still getting offered something that feels almost right, but it's not. And that's what we've lived in, you know. So, viva la revolution, you know what I'm saying? So then there was Thursday. I think that might have been the video I didn't post. Yeah, I was talking about manipulation. You know, the title of the video was more, it was, we can learn a lot from children, right? If we watch children playing, right, like, especially like play school, you know, they're all like running, and they don't give a shit what anyone's wearing. They don't care where that kid's from. It doesn't even necessarily matter if you can even speak the same language. I mean, I remember being fucking 10 years old and meeting this Danish girl in Denmark when my dad took us there. Me and her couldn't talk, but we spent a week falling in love with each other. It was well funny, but we couldn't say a word to each other. But kids are like this, right? Like, once you start getting into the education system and becoming more aware of the world around you, you've got a lot more things hitting you and infecting you and changing how you're viewing the world. But pre that, like, we don't give a fuck what colour people are, what they're wearing, where they're from. It's, are you in front of me being cool, or are you not? You know? And I just think that's good values to hang on to in this day and age anyway. Are you being cool in front of me, or are you not? And if you're not, get the fuck out of here. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's Sunday morning. I've got to the end of my notes. I did a freestyle video, I know that as well. We got more music coming. I've had an epic week. I hope you've made the most out of your week. I have. I've worked hard. Really proud to be I was working on someone else's music. I finished it, I've sent it to him. He is well happy with it. That made me even happier. And then I had a phone call booked with a mastering engineer to critique my work, and it was extremely good. He gave me some critiques, but I watched what he did. He showed me what he did, and it was so minor. He was very complimentary of the work I've done, so that made me even happier, because I've been working really hard on that. So, you know, good things can happen when we push hard on something. So let's make it. Use the force. Positive mental attitude. Be kind with your thoughts to yourselves like you would for others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would for others. And let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness course. Peace in.